Oh, hi there! Welcome to another episode of the Okanagan Gardener and Forager channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about a plant that's got a lot of attention from people who are interested in wild, edible, and medicinal plants. I think mainly because of its potential use as a pain reliever and sedative and to help you sleep and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's actually called lettuce opium sometimes, and it's all around me. Prickly lettuce. I've been waiting a little while to make a video talking about prickly lettuce, largely because I wanted to wait, and I don't know if you can see, but the flower buds are just about to come. I wanted to make a video that would help with identification, showing lots of the different stages, so it'll help you find it too. And it's a pretty interesting plant, or at least a lot of people have interest in it, like I said before, for that pain relieving capability. It's said to be like a mild opiate, without the addictive properties. So a lot of people, there's a lot of people who have a lot of pain for various reasons, musculoskeletal pain, things like that, rheumatism, joint pain, and you might be looking for alternatives to what's available through the drugstores and whatnot. But anyway, I'm not going to make any claims about its effectiveness, but there are a lot of studies backing up the use of this plant for pain relief. So I'm going to take you through some ways to identify it. Prickly lettuce, scientific name is Lactuca serriola. I've seen it also referred to or described as synonymously as Lactuca scariola, and I think that's probably because it's so scary with these prickles on the undersides, but maybe not. Anyway, some other names for it are wild lettuce, wild lettuce, and lettuce opium, and also compass plant, because it has this, what it does when it's really hot out, the leaves, they'll orient themselves on their side with the tips, generally, and I can confirm, because north is about that way, the tips point north-south, and then the sides orient east-west. Anyway, they grow up to about 2 meters tall, and the stems are sometimes have these prickles on them, more lower and less so up near the top, and they are an annual or biennial plant, or a winter annual, and I have seen sources that describe them as being native to North America, but as best I can tell is they are introduced from Europe. Now, the leaves are highly variable, so on two plants next to each other there's this sort of non-lobed type leaf, and then right over here, and there's a couple, if you see spots on it, there's some kind of like a fungus, that's a mold or fungus that's getting after the plant. They can be much more lobed like this. So this plant is getting near flowering. You can see the flowers are forming. This one there, almost out. I'll try to do a couple things. I'll try to come out. They closed for the day, so I'll get some video later of what the flowers look like. And then I also plan to insert some video that I took earlier in the spring, so you can see what they look like when they're just starting out. Here's a prickly lettuce plant early in the spring. It looks quite dandelion-like, I think, and it's also when the leaves are the best tasting. And you can find prickles on the bottom midrib on some of the plants, on some of the leaves, but maybe not all of them. Here are the prickly lettuce flowers, and they come at the end of the stalk in a pyramid-shaped cluster, and they're highly branched. They're ray flowers only. They're a composite flower. They're a member of the sunflower Asteraceae family, but it's ray flowers only, and they're very delicate, so there's not much size to the underside of the flower. Looking here, because I'll compare that to Sow Thistle flowers. Over here, these are Sow Thistle, and they're the bottom part of the flower has that bulge. I hope you can see. Kind of a bump there. Sow Thistle are pretty similar, but I think when you look at them side by side, you can tell them apart. Sow Thistle and prickly lettuce. The leaves, as they emerge from the stem, and check out this little guy there, Try not to bug him too much. But the leaves, as they come off the stem, they are alternate. So they come off one side going one way, and then go up the stem. They come off the other side going another way. And this side out, out. It's okay. And the other thing is the leaves, when they have lobes, the tips of the lobes point backwards towards where they come off the stem. And of course, the most distinguishing trait of the prickly lettuce is there are prickles along the edge of the leaf that I think hopefully you can see, and then for their name on the bottom midrib. And when you're looking at the plants, it might not be the case that every single leaf has it, especially when they're young, but at least some on the plant will. Now another thing with prickly lettuce is when you break a leaf off, there's this milky sap that comes out, and also, and I'll do it because I think it looks cool, if you were to cut the stem, the milky sap comes out, and that's what people are often very interested in if they're looking for the, the pain relieving properties. It's in there, it's in that sap. But although that's pretty cool, I think, to see, it won't identify it because it won't distinguish it from a few others that look like it, like Dandelion, Chicory, and Sow Thistle. They also do that. So I'm going to show you a few ways to distinguish it from those similar looking plants. I had to go into the shade to find some chicory that still had some flowers open. But anyway, if it's later in the season, it'll probably be easy to tell the chicory from the wild lettuce. But just so for completeness, I guess, this is what chicory flowers look like, and I'll show you the leaves and how close they look to some of the other ones. Okay, here I've got 7 leaves of 4 different species, and I've got some extras of a couple of them, or a few of them, just to show some of the leaf variability. But anyways, from the left here, 2, Dandelion, common dandelion, scientific name is Taraxacum officinale. Here is chicory, scientific name is Cichorium intybus. These 2 here are the prickly lettuce, Lactuca serriola, what we're talking about today. And these 2 over here are Sow Thistle. Scientific name is Sonchus oleraceus. So I have doubles of a couple of them just to show some of the leaf variability. And then I'll just take one out so it's a little more clear. So dandelion, chicory, these 2 are prickly lettuce. The no lobed version, and then the lobed. I'll take that one out. This is kind of the more distinct one that I think is easier to identify. And these 2 here are the Sow Thistle, and I'll just take that one out. Okay, so once they're older, like at this age, it might become easier to tell them apart, but you still can use these traits to tell them apart when they're young. The dandelion leaf has no prickles along the edge, and the underside of the mid vein also doesn't have prickles or hairs. Here, chicory, no prickles along the edges of the leaf, and on the mid vein, it's very hairy. So, see the 2 side by side. The one on top here, dandelion, chicory. And now, the prickly lettuce. Prickly lettuce has prickles along the edge of the leaf and prickles on the mid vein of the leaf. And here's the Sow Thistle. Prickles along the edge of the leaf and no prickles, no hair on the mid vein. And I think these 2 are maybe more likely to be mixed up. So I'll put them side by side so you can see. Prickly lettuce prickles, Sow Thistle none. Oh, well, let's scramble them up just for the heck of it. Sow Thistle, dandelion, chicory, and prickly lettuce. Now hopefully you can confidently identify prickly lettuce. One thing I'll say, good news about it, is those other 4 that I showed you, all the leaves of those are actually edible as well. But anyway, maybe you want prickly lettuce for a reason. Prickly lettuce is edible, and it can be pretty bitter. It's better when it's young, like fresh young leaves. Like these ones, once they're almost ready to flower, they start to get tough and fairly bitter. But they are edible, maybe cooked a couple times. Like cook them in water, change the water, then cook them some more. Can take the bitterness out. The stem is also edible, similar in a similar way. So when it's young, it would taste better. As it gets older, much more bitter and tough. Like at this point, this is not really good for eating anymore. But it is edible. But you're probably not going to impress anybody if you cook it for them at this stage. I think I forgot to mention it earlier, but the leaves at the base, they kind of clasp the stem, like they wrap around the stem a little bit. Hopefully you can see that there. And another thing, it's a member of the genus Lactuca. Also the lettuce that we eat in salad is as well. And it's thought that the salad lettuce has evolved or was developed from this wild lettuce. So it's edible and people do eat it, but I think a lot of people are very interested in it for its medicinal uses. And some of those medicinal uses, the main one is its opiate-like effects. And it's actually even been used commercially in some things like syrups and lozenges to relieve coughing. And the opiate-like effects that many people are interested in include pain relief, like musculoskeletal pain or rheumatism, joint pain, things like that, or pain associated with menstruation. Also the sedative properties, so for help with sleeping or relieving anxiety or soothing irritability. It's also been used, I think I said, like with the cough syrups and lozenges to help relieve coughing. And it's antispasmodic to help to relieve muscle spasms, and also has been used to help relieve diarrhea. One word of warning, or I guess 2 words of warning about prickly lettuce. One is overuse can lead to some digestive upset stomach, so take it easy with it. And also, if you have, it's a member of the sunflower family or Asteraceae family, so people could have allergic reactions to it. It is widespread all over North America, and so you can find it. If you're like me, you've let it grow in your yard, but you can find it at disturbed sites pretty much all over North America. Prickly lettuce. So if you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up. It's getting pretty hot out here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm getting hot. So I think I'm gonna go inside and cool off. Yes, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching.